Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nayaswami Padma, and I'm here today to bring you the some of the quotations that we've been studying from the original writings of Paramhansa Yogananda. But what I'm doing here for the next few weeks is giving you excerpts from Swami Kriyananda's book, his direct disciple, about his time with Yogananda and some of the things he learned from Yogananda specifically. So today I'd like to read to you the quotation I'd like to briefly discuss. And it says, "On Saturdays, no work was scheduled. This gave us time to do personal chores and for longer private meditation. Usually I meditated late into the morning, then kept silence the rest of the day. Sometimes I fasted. In the evening, I meditated again several hours. Sundays, we attended morning and evening services in the Hollywood church. There being only a pickup truck to get us there, we younger monks piled happily into the back of it for the trip, which took 15 or 20 minutes. I love this particular little excerpt. He's talking, of course, about the times in the very early years when he was a very young man. He came to Yogananda when he was 22, and how he established, how Yogananda encouraged him to establish his meditation practice. It's important, he talks about, Yogananda does, trying to find one day a week when you meditate a little longer than you do normally. And of course, this has the natural result of helping us to stretch our meditation practice. Mind you, ultimately, Yogananda counseled that quality is more important than quantity. So the depth of our meditation is the most important part. A very brief meditation can be a very deep meditation, in which case much greater benefit is found than a longer meditation in which we get sleepy and our mind sort of wanders and we don't actually meditate, which is one-pointed concentration on God, but we have our mind on a billion little thoughts. So I'm not proposing by this particular section that I read that longer meditation is sort of trumps or is greater than a shorter, deeper meditation. It's not. But taking a deep meditation and lengthening it more and more, we find that we do indeed reach deeper and deeper levels of stillness than we ever thought imaginable. So that's what he's talking about in this particular paragraph. And what I wanted to share also is a delightful memory that this paragraph brings to me. Because in the very early years of living at Ananda in California, the first founding community there in the Sierra foothills, I lived there for about 20 years before Swami Kriyananda asked my husband and I to come and do the work here in Washington State. But in any case, what I'm trying to say is in those early years, and I was about the age he was when I was living there then, we had very little transportation. The roads were full of potholes. They were dirt roads, and it was difficult to get around. So there was this one truck. We called it Shakti. It had energy. That's what Shakti means. And that truck would take us back and forth between the place where many of us resided at the what is now the seclusion retreat there, the 5 or 7 miles, I forget what it is, down the road to the main community where Swami Kriyananda lived in the monastery part of that called a yoja. So the truck Shakti would take us there, and we'd all pile into it, just like this story is telling us that the monks did at Mount Washington. We'd pile into it, and it would take us to Swami Kriyananda's home, where he would hold a satsang invariably to share with us the latest chapter of whatever he was writing at the time. So it brings back fond memories. It's not unlike the parent telling the child about the many, many miles that they used to walk in the snow to get to school. I mean, we sort of have to keep smiling when we hear things like that, but there's something actually very refreshing about living a simple life and living our lives in dedication to developing more and more the inner life, which is greatly enhanced by the simplicity or lack of attachment to anything in the material world around us. It doesn't mean that there can't be beautiful things, we can't live in a lovely home, or the main point is that the true test of renunciation, are we attached to any of us, any of that? And it is greatly helpful, most helpful to our spiritual lives to live in simplicity and to practice simplicity so that we're not attached to anything eventually in the material world around us, and only the only reality that has meaning to us is the inner life, the inner light, the kingdom of God that resides within us. Joy to you, and we'll see you again on Monday. Blessings. Bye-bye.